Warning, this product contains extreme nostalgia. Does your job got you down? Is adulting not as fun as you thought it would be? Do you want a way to recapture that happiness from when you were a kid? At Retrostalgia Box, you feel like a kid again. Comics, toys, and video games hand-curated from the past and straight to your door. Unbox happiness at retrostalgiabox.com. Once again, that's retrostalgiabox.com. Yeah! Have you ever engaged in a serious debate over which is better, Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings? Have you ever played Smash or Pass using only characters from Star Wars and Marvel movies? If you answered yes to any of these questions, we have the podcast for you. Listen to The Steam Gentlemen, the podcast where an expert panel convenes to ask the questions about pop culture and social commentary that other podcasts are afraid to ask. Listen to The Steam Gentlemen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Welcome back, everybody, to 1987 Supermod. I'm your host, Brad Drake, and this is the AWA. And that's right, everybody. It is the AWA reboot. Sorry for that interruption there. I had to clear my throat. Yes, we have rebooted the AWA. We are using version 10.1 of the Supermod here, everybody. And I took a step ahead here, and we have Championship Wrestling and All-Star Wrestling that are getting ready to be recorded. And we are going to record monthly, much like our WWF save, and it's actually what the AWA did. And for those of you that don't know, by 1987, the Championship Wrestling deal that was on ESPN actually ran every day in the afternoons. Obviously, we can't simulate that in the game, so we'll just do monthly recordings at a time. But in real life, that's what the AWA did. It was on ESPN every day in the afternoon, and it was conveniently on at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so kids coming home from school could turn it on and watch it. So here we go, Championship Wrestling, everybody. We are going to go ahead and get recording here. But the first thing we're going to do is, I did a little bit of research here. Lance Allen. All right. Let me see what we got going on here. There he is. There's Lance Allen. All right, we're going to... never mind. We'll get to this later. All right, excuse me. All right, let's go ahead and move on forward here. And there we go. Championship Wrestling is going to be booked. And we, of course, are going to book it in the Southwest. And we are going to book in the SHOWBOAT Sports Pavilion. All right, let's check out Absent Workers, the Mercenary. That's going to cause us a little bit of a problem, but not too bad. We have Leon White and Brian Knobs having a problem here. We're going to give a stern warning. We have Colonel DeBeers and Bulldog Bob Brown. We are going to fine him. Soldat Ustinov's got himself in some trouble here. We're going to give him a stern warning. And what do we got here? Rip Oliver and Nick Bockwinkel. Bockwinkel says, Oliver, we're tired of your crap. You will buy drinks for everybody at the end of the show. And here is Debbie Combs. And another one that Nick Bockwinkel has to straighten out. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at our card. We're going to record 2 episodes on this episode. Then we'll come back tomorrow for 2 more. If you've noticed, the shows are shorter, okay? To be more in line with realism, These 1-hour television shows were actually 45 minutes of content. So therefore, we're going to get right around 45 minutes of content for our shows. We're going to see Mando, Guerrero, and Guerrero in action. We're going to see the Nasty Boys in action. Baron von Raschke will be in singles action. Buddy Rose and Doug Summers will be in tag team action. We're going to see the Assassin take on Nick Bockwinkel for the heavyweight championship of the world in the main event, everybody. And for week 2 of our tapings, we're going to see Mr. Magnificent Kevin Kelly in action. The Guerrero brothers, Chavo and Hector, will be in tag team action. Jimmy Snuka is going to be on the scene here in Nevada. Colonel DeBeers will wrestle a singles match. And then our main event, the Terrorist and a partner to be named will face the Midnight Rockers for the AWA World Tag Team title. So with that said, everybody, let's get to booking. Here we go. Ringo. Ringo here is facing Mando Guerrero. And these two, I bet you, would have wrestled on the right side. Just because they could. Here's Ringo. And here is Mando, who may have been the most talented of the Guerrero brothers. And I have reason for saying that. All right, this one is booked. Next, we have Alex Knight and Blackie Guzman. So Guzman and Knight against the very young Nasty Boys. And I looked it up. The face paint gimmick was pretty much over already at this point for the Nasty Boys. They had the more regular look going. So I went ahead and changed their pictures for the mod here. And here are the Nasties. They already had the women's trench coats already at that point, the rain jackets. And of course, Brian Knobbs will get the win for the Nasties here. All right, up next, we're going to start with the promos. And we're going to have a Baron von Raschke promo. And of course, Baron von Raschke will be talking to Larry Nelson. Here's the Baron, and here is Larry Nelson. Larry Nelson's on screen, based on entertainment. And of course, everybody, obviously these were not 5 minutes and 6 minutes long. But in TEW, in order to get an accurate score, they have to be. All right, Jeff Curtis is going to face Baron von Raschke in an enhancement match here. And for those of you that are new to the channel and new to our show, and there's quite a few of you, this is exactly how Vern Gagne booked his television. He would give like one decent match, and the rest were all squash enhancement matches. And the reason for that was television was used as an advertisement to get you to buy a ticket for when the AWA came to your town. And if you look back on our previous shows, you'll see that we did a show about this not too long ago called 80s Booking. All right, here is Buddy Rose. Here is Doug Summers. And they, of course, are cutting a promo. And they, of course, are talking to Larry Nelson. And they're talking about that Marty Genadi, that rocker Marty Genadi, and Shawn Michaels. Has anybody seen Marty Genadi lately? That guy has aged 20 years in the last year. He looks not good. All right, this one is booked. And I realize the guy's 60-some years old, but he was still looking pretty good when he was on that Dan Marotti show. That's still a shame what happened to him, that he passed away so young. But I saw some recent pictures of him at comic book conventions. Man, he looks like he's 90 years old. I guess a lifetime of drugs and abuse will do that to you. All right, Kaluha and Jimmy Magnum are going to face Rose and Summers. And this one's going to go 3 minutes. Kaluha, of course, is King Kaluha, and he would end up having some major success on the East Coast. He was had a very good look and was very, very capable in the ring. and became a very good trainer for many years. In fact, he may still be doing it. All right, here we go. Kaluha and his tag team partner, whose name I already forgot, Jimmy Magnum. There he is. There's Jimmy Magnum. And they, of course, are facing Rose and Summers. We're going to give the win here to Doug Summers. And that one, my friends, is in the books. Up next here, we have Nick Bockwinkel cutting a promo. Going to be 6 minutes. Of course, he's going to be talking about Curt Hennig. He's engaged in that feud with Curt Hennig right now. So here is Nick Bockwinkel. He's talking to Larry Nelson. And he's talking about that Curt Hennig. The future, Mr. Perfect. There we go. Entertainment. And Hennig is off screen. That one's booked. And here comes our main event, which is the Assassin versus Bockwinkel. The Assassin is up there in age. So is Nick Bockwinkel. The Assassin is less capable than Bockwinkel at this point. Here we go. Here is Nick Bockwinkel. The heavyweight championship of the world is on the line, and we will have Vern Gagne, road agent, this one. And Nick Bockwinkel is going to get the win here, everybody. And it's going to come by way of cheating, because that's what heels do, especially on television. Ooh, now here's where we got a problem. We got to book another 8 minutes. So that's our issue with my theory of running the show properly. And that's probably why I never did it that way before. Well, talk about learning the hard way, especially when I'm filming a show. Let's give all our squash matches an extra minute. And let's get back to that. Yeah, one more 4. Three more minutes is required. Bump up the promo. And the main event here gets 2 more minutes, 14. We're good to go. What I'll end up doing is I'll end up changing the time of the show. We'll take it down to a half hour, which, that doesn't make any sense. That's a flaw in the game. We'll figure it out. We could probably just continue doing shows just like this. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. And do not expect big scores here, everybody. Don't expect big scores at all. All right, Mando Guerrero and Al Ringo, and Mando gets the win here. 55 overall. And Mando wins with the German suplex. All right, the Nasties against Guzman and Knight. And we get a whopping 16 for this one. Red text of doom all over the place. We also do get some green here, which is good. But again, the Nasty Boys are a very young team here. And I forgot to turn off heel face stuff, so it's going to hurt us even worse. All right, Baron von Raschke gets a whopping 40 for his promo here. That's pretty brutal. And it doesn't help that we're in the Southwest. A lot of these guys don't have major popularity here in the Southwest. So the Baron gets the win with the brain claw here. I almost said brain craw, but it's brain claw. 52-16 gets us a 25. And I have a feeling we're going to get a very poor score overall for this show. And yep, I forgot to edit product. We're going to get punished across the board here, everybody. And here we go. Rose and Summers cut a promo. They get a 52. And their feud loses heat because of this. This is going to be painful, everybody. But this is the new 10.1, so things are more realistic here. Here we go. Buddy Rose and Doug Summers get themselves a whopping 43. And we're getting punished right across the board here. Red text the doom all over. Forgot to change the product. I forgot to change the heel-face divide. All right, the Nick Bockwinkel gets a nice 78 promo here, which is good. And Nothing note worth in the notes. 72 overall for the main event. That's okay. That's pretty good stuff. And Dirt Sheet says Bockwinkel declining physical ability. Okay. Let's go ahead and finish this one up. And we do get a gain in 25 regions. Let me see if I can edit product. I have a feeling I can't. Ooh, we can. Excellent. All right, it's not enforced. And I can't change our main product. We are going to change it back to classic balanced. That's my favorite. We're going to save this. Maybe we'll just keep trying to go with this. We lost even more money. All right, let's go back to booking the show. Here we are for next week's taping for Championship Wrestling, everybody. And let's see here. We have Ben Patrick and Kevin Kelly. They're going to open things up. 3 minutes. Ben Patrick, of course, is the man that looks like the little person from Game of Thrones. Had a lot of fun with him last year plus. Here is Kevin Kelly. Kevin Kelly with the win here, everybody. That one's booked. Up next, we have Baxter and Van Horne versus the Guerrero brothers. Versus the Guerrero brothers. I forgot we got to make these 4-minute matches. All right, here is Sean Baxter. Here is Van Horne. And here is Chavo. And Hector. And we're going to give the win here to Chavo. So there we go. Chavo with the W. And next, we have a Jimmy Snuka promo. Despite what it says, this one's going to go 6 minutes. Here is Jimmy Snuka. All right, entertainment. And of course, he's going to be talking with none other than Larry Nelson. That one's booked. Up next, we have Koorijian versus Snuka. They're going to go 4 minutes. And here we go. David Koorijian against Jimmy Snuka. And Snuka is going to get the win here. Up next, Colonel DeBeers, who had that wicked, he really did have a wicked gimmick. I like Colonel DeBeers. You really hated this guy. Everything he did just made you despise him. It was perfect. Here's Colonel DeBeers. He's talking to Larry Nelson. Colonel DeBeers is based on entertainment. And that one's booked. And up next, we're going to have Colonel DeBeers beat Jake Milliman. 4-minute bout. Here we are. Jake Milliman gets the Colonel. All right. DeBeers gets the win, of course. This one is in the books, everybody. Up next, we're going to have a Midnight Rockers promo, which is probably not going to be very good. These guys are very young at this point, everybody. They are not the Marty Genadi and the Shawn Michaels we would see them develop into. Their promos were not very good. They were charismatic. But they did have the goods in the ring. There's no doubt about that. Even in 1987, they had the goods. Here's Buddy Rose. Here is Doug Summers. And remember something about Doug Summers. Doug Summers was pretty much a career enhancement talent at this point that finally got his first big push here in the AWA. So that's why his numbers are down so bad. All right, there we go for the Rockers promo. And here comes our main event, everybody. And we're going to have the Terrorist and his partner for this one And this is so AWA too. We're going to have Yuri Gordienko as his tag partner. All right, so we have the Terrorist. And the Terrorist, of course, was Jack Victory. There's the Terrorist. There's Yuri Gordienko. Here are the Midnight Rockers. So, Terrorist and Gordienko versus Midnight Rockers. I think this we can get away with 14 minutes. We'll know shortly. And of course, Marty Genadi is going to get the win for his team, and the tag team champions will defend their title. So we're going to have a 16-minute match for the main event. Here we go. Let's start the show and see how we do. Patrick versus Kelly. Kelly gets the win with the sleeper. Hey, this is nice. We got some green here on this one. I wasn't quite expecting it. And up next here, we have the Guerrero brothers against Baxter and Van Horne. Lots of green. Green equals money. Nice scores there for the Guerrero brothers, 79, because they are over in the Southwest. I keep checking this to make sure that we still get a squash match bonus, even though the match is 4 minutes. I haven't seen it yet, but it doesn't mean a whole lot. So here we go. Jimmy Snuka with a promo, and he gets a 64, doing his work there with Larry Nelson. Up next, we have Koorijian versus Snuka. Snuka has a 78 in the ring. Lots of green here, a little bit of red text, the Doom. 49 overall. Let's see if we get that squash. We do not. No, there it is. Well-executed squash. Okay. Colonel DeBeers gets a whopping 39 for his promo. Ooh, that's a little rough. That's a little rough. But a 40 against Jake Milliman here. 60 for Colonel DeBeers on his own. He wins with that brutal pancake pile driver. I like that pile driver. All right, up next. The Midnight Rockers cut themselves a promo here. And it gets a 54 overall. We also need to change our product to make our main event matter the most. That'll especially help us with television. Definitely got to do that. All right, let's see how our main event does here. Only a 53. We're going to get a loss here, everybody. We are definitely going to get a loss here. I got some nice green here, but we got a lot of red. And the Rockers just aren't where they will be. Inexperience. Yeah, I got everything going against us here. We're going to take a beating on this one. We lost popularity in one region, so we'll be okay. All right, while I'm thinking of it here, let's go in and change this over to well, I don't think I can change it in here. I think I got to go into the editor to change it. And that's where we can get the main event to mean the most. Product base? Nope. All right. That's going to do it for us here, everybody, for this, the opening event of the rebooted AWA. And I hope you enjoyed it. Lots more to come. This one's going to take a lot of tweaking and everything. We're going to try to run it as realistic as possible, and we're going to try to see if we can't change the course of history here and make the AWA matter. And as you can tell, obviously, the stats and everything for the wrestlers in 10.1 are a lot more realistic. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and leave us a message below. Let us know what you think of the show and how you found it. How did you find us? Check us out on social media, facebook.com/group/1987supermod. You can also find us over on Reddit under the subreddit of TEW 2020 Friends. Don't forget, we're on Patreon, patreon.com/PowerCast Network. You can also find us on Discord under 1987 Supermod. Last but not least, if you would like version 10 of the Supermod, 10.1 isn't out yet, you can head on over to patreon.com/PowerCast Network, or if you'd like version 9 of the Supermod, you can find it over on braddrake.net. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.